Meanwhile, a quarterback who is clearly a step or two below the likes of Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, and who has to every year contend with rumors that there's going to be some A-list quarterback who takes his spot. Derek Carr meeting with reporters yesterday during the ongoing offseason program in Las Vegas with the Raiders. Still weird to see that. Here's Derek Carr, part of what he was asked about and what he had to say in response, and we will analyze it on the other side.
This seemed to be the offseason unhappy quarterbacks around the league, and whether Aaron, Deshaun, Russell, you obviously haven't had the greatest situation around you, it would be fair to say, years, but we haven't ever heard a peep from you. Why are you that way as opposed to, no public complaints, nothing like that?
Yeah, Josh, that's a great question. Honestly, my goal, Josh, was when I got here to, give everything I have to this organization, let our fans know I'm giving it all that I have, and I will always continue to do that on season, off season, and whether the situation is great or not, that's okay. People can say whatever they want. I know what I've put on film. I know the things that I've been able to accomplish, and I still want more. There's still more, and I want to do it here. I don't want to do it anywhere else. I've said it over and over again. I'd probably quit football if I had to play for somebody else. I am a Raider for my entire life. I'm going to root for one team for the rest of my life, and it's the Raiders. So I just feel that's so strong in my heart. I don't need a perfect situation. I'd rather go down with the ship, what I'm saying, if I have to. That's just my personality.
Okay. Who hacked my account yesterday? Well, I complain when there's a block button. That was because he is very well known for blocking people on Twitter.
Yes.
I thought he was going to go into a full Hulk Hogan flex there at one point when he swept his arms outward.
Yeah.
What's with the hoodie that's carved all the way up, whatever.
Sun's out, guns out.
Let me just say this though, because I don't know if you heard the question very well.
Right.
I think I got the gist of it. Basically, in an offseason where we've heard complaints from guys like Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, and he may have mentioned Deshaun Watson, why haven't you said it? Why is Derek Carr not complaining? Well, how about this? He hasn't earned the right to complain yet. That's the easy answer. These other guys are all here. He's here. Or here. He's not bad, but he's not one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Right.
And he hasn't proven that he can get to the top of the mountain or even approach the top of the mountain. He's never won a playoff game. He's never played in a playoff game. He had a broken leg the year that the Raiders made it to the postseason, and it's not his fault that he broke his leg, but he hasn't even tasted the postseason experience in a career that dates back to 2014. So it would be the height of presumptuousness for him to complain about anything. He's done nothing to deserve the right to complain. That's the true answer in my assessment.
Agreed. I think you're spot on. I guess that's why we're friends. I mean, we don't even talk about this stuff, but I mean, that's the way I look at it. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about complaining. I mean, yes, you're if he complained to where he's at this point of his career, the Raiders would be like, okay, you're annoying. We need to get rid of you. We got to get rid of you. That's what they would do. He's not good enough to be annoying and be a complainer. Like Rodgers, Watson, and Russell Wilson, to your point, they could be so damn annoying and the most annoying guy on the team. And the head coach is still going to be like, yeah, but he's awesome, and we're not good without him. And he's going to make up 10 other reasons why he's not really that annoying and that we really need him on the football team, because that's what an awesome quarterback does. Derek Carr, he's certainly getting there. I mean, he's playing really good football, but you're right. That's a different stratosphere of player we're talking about right now, those 3 quarterbacks. And, yeah, he finally has, planted himself in a comfortable spot here after last year, where this was the first offseason we didn't hear, we evaluate every position, and we're going to look at every quarterback on earth.
No, he said it again.
Well,
he said it again. Mayock said it again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Who said it? Mayock? Did he say it?
Mayock always says it.
He does, yes. But I feel like there was less Gruden of that this year, and maybe not quite as much of a talking point about that, to where, yeah, he's got nothing to say, and he shouldn't say anything, and he needs a few more years of what he did last year, and then he can complain if he wants, but he's not there yet.
He's getting to an interesting point in his career.
Yeah.
Remember, he signed a contract that he was one of the guys that was at the front end of that. And I keep thinking of the old hands up the baseball bat where the next guy gets more, just because he's the next guy.
Right.
Oh, the next guy's up. He gets a little bit more. Derek Carr at one point, for a very limited slice of time, was the highest paid player in NFL history. He's now entering the final 2 years of that contract, $19.5 million this year, $19.7 million next year. He has not complained about that. And again, what's there to complain about? I don't know. Does he deserve more than that? I don't know. But Peter King and I did a draft a few weeks back of the quarterbacks who are most likely to be the next ones to make a power play, and Peter selected Derek Carr along the way. And he's getting close to a point where he can kind of squeeze the Raiders back. They've left him dangling the past few years. If he has a big season this year and gets to the playoffs and plays in a playoff game and wins a playoff game, and then he's entering the final year of his contract at $19.7 million, that could get very interesting for the Raiders because they may have to renew their vows with Carr at a time when they've been looking for other options.
Yeah.
And it may be that they just keep staying with this guy, but if they do a new contract with him, if it's structured the right way, the option isn't going to be there for a couple of years to move on to someone else.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough decision. It'll be a big year, I think, for Gruden and Derek Carr in that relationship. I think to your point where I think this could dictate, the next 3 to 4 years of what we see from the Raiders at the quarterback position. If Derek Carr, and you can win games with Derek Carr, and you can go to the playoffs, and he's capable of taking a team to the Super Bowl and doing that. And I know that's, a big statement for a guy that hasn't played in a playoff game, but I've seen enough to think, like, he's not the issue. You put the right team around him, he can do it. And then last year, he played really damn good football. He really did. So he puts another year together like you're talking about, Mike, where he plays the way he did last year and the team is better. He's got every right at $19 million. Say what you want. Derek Carr's underpaid at this point. At this point, there's no doubt. You talked about it. He dances around the top 10-ish of quarterbacks after last year. Certainly the top half of football, in my opinion. So, with that, yeah, there's justification after this year to say, I'd like to have a little extension or something here. And, he might have the Raiders by the proverbial, big ones there, just in the fact of like, okay, what else are your options going forward? And Gruden, your offense and your mad scientist and all that, you've wired me perfectly. I'm ready. I'm an extension of you. So he will have a little power in this situation if he plays well again this year.
Let me ask you this, because it occurred to me while you were saying what you just said.
Yeah.
You've got a very high opinion of Derek Carr's skills. You said you can win a Super Bowl with him, and he really doesn't have a great supporting cast.
Right.
They've been swinging and missing on some of their first-round picks. The offensive line was gutted this year. You got Russell Wilson complaining about his offensive line, and not a peep from Derek Carr.
Yeah.
They got rid of like 4 of the 5 starters and then brought back 1 or 2 of them. But if Carr is as good as you say, and it's the supporting cast, not him, that is holding this team down, I kind of want him to make a power play.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that. I want to see that, that quality that, as I've said before, we don't like to see it in a 9-year-old kid who has to win at everything, but we admire it in a grown man who has to win at everything.
Right.
Win at everything. Got to win at all costs. Have we ever gotten that vibe from Derek Carr that he has that aspect of his personality that Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, all the great quarterbacks have? Like, he's kind of, we're complaining on behalf of these other great quarterbacks because the team's attitude is to those players, you just work here. I feel like Carr gladly embraces, hey, I just work here.
I think so too. He does. He gladly embraces it. I think it's a positive thing. He's the ultimate team guy. I do. And I think he's shown the last 2 years a little fortitude and toughness to say that, yeah, I think this damn guy, he is a stubborn SOB and going to do whatever he's got to do. He's said and done all the right things, whether we like it or not. Like, listen, he's a dork, right? He's a dork with how he comes off that way. But if you got to be around him a few times like I have, that's the way he is. It's not a bad way. I'm sure he's liked in the locker room. Guys probably go, oh, that's Derek. That's his one cheesy comment of the day. He over-exaggerates his point to let you know, like, how in he is with the Raiders. I'm so in it, I'll never play for a team ever again. Like, I don't really buy that, but he's not going to even let himself think anything else, because I do think he has some of that focus, at least, of what you're talking about with some of the other great quarterbacks, where he's just like, I'm the quarterback of the Raiders. I'm going to be awesome. Gruden said spider 2 wide banana, and then check to 72s to be. He's all in. So that where I will give him credit. And then the play is starting to match that. I mean, he didn't leave plays or points or yards on the field last year. We certainly could have watched those games and go, even the games they lost, we never went like, man, Derek Carr was the problem, right? At least not in my opinion. He did what he had to do. He's not going to carry a team, but if you give him a little support, like we saw last year, he can still make enough happen and open your eyes and go, damn, this guy's good, efficient, accurate, and make some plays from time to time.
One thing we've discussed in the past as it relates to Gruden, that desire he has to draw out a certain aspect of the personality. He wants the quarterback to be a badass.
Yeah.
He wants the quarterback to basically act like Gruden does.
Right.
And I feel like through 3 years of that cajoling, Carr has gotten a lot closer to where Gruden wants him to be than where Carr was when the relationship began. I remember when the relationship began, someone that I know who is familiar with the dynamics and the personalities said, this isn't going to work. Carr is going to crumble. To his credit, he hasn't crumbled. To his credit, he's responded, and he's followed Gruden where Gruden is leading him to become the badass that Gruden wants.
Yeah, no, I think that was all. We all questioned that, I think, right? We were all a little bit like, man, can that really work together? Derek Carr, Christian values, all those type of things. Then there's Gruden, snarky, swearing, saying things, all of that. Yeah, I questioned it. That was my biggest question, was whether those personalities could coexist. But, yeah, he's gone all in, and he's changed himself, in a big, big way, to where, like, I always think about, my dad's ex-coach, Bill Parcells. He used to say to my dad, and I'm going to butcher this to a degree here, I want a battleship commander, not a cruise ship coordinator or something like that. When my gist is there. And I think we're seeing that with Derek Carr. I mean, there's a number of times last year where he looked over to the sidelines and he was swearing at John Gruden, and he was saying things like, nope, you're wrong. I know what I'm doing, and shut the hell up, and doing all that. And Gruden might not like it at the time, but ultimately he is going to like the fact that Derek Carr's taken ownership. He's got an answer for everything. That's the big thing. To me, that's when Gruden knows what you're doing. And that's where I finally got in a good place. It's like, hey, my offense. Now you're walking off the field. The play didn't go good. Are you going to give me the right answers to why it didn't go good right away and be all over it? And to me, when I see Derek Carr, I always see him talking, and Gruden kind of like shaking his head like, yep, you were right. Okay. And they walk away. So there's something there, and he's made a lot of progress.
And let me take this to the logical conclusion.
Yeah.
If and when Derek Carr becomes the full-blown badass that John Gruden wants him to be, and essentially the Frankenstein monster takes over the lab, that's when he starts to be as upset as a Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You go into Mike Mayock and you say, what the hell is up with all these guys that you're giving me to play with? I want some better players. I want some input. I want to be involved in this. He hasn't gotten to that point yet.
No.
Maybe that's where he gets after this year. I want a new contract, and I want to have a seat at the table as we try to fix this team, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm a Raider for life. So if I'm ever going to do anything in this league, you got to get me some better Raiders around me.
Yeah. I think you're right. He has another year like he did last year. And, it's still like, man, only Darren Waller was the bright spot. I know they got Josh Jacobs, and he's awesome. I'm talking about the pass game options. But, we've talked many times. Henry Ruggs was a little disappointing last year. There's no doubt about it. That wasn't great. There is no Nelson Aguilar, and I don't think anybody was looking at him as like a superstar to begin with, right? So you got that. Hunter Renfrow, good football player. But like Derek Carr played amazing football. It's 27 touchdowns. It's 9 interceptions. It's over 100 in a quarterback rating. It's over 4,000 yards. And at no point do I think anybody who evaluates football should go, the Raiders have top 5 or top 10 skill position guys. So to that point, yeah, if they don't start playing better and he plays the way he's playing, then he's got real merit to be like, hey, I'm pretty damn good. I've done everything you've wanted. I lead these guys, and you haven't supported me the best, to where he has every right to ask for more money and be a pain in the ass after the offseason, and I'll sit here and stick up for him, and it sounds like you will too.
By almost every metric, last year was his best season,
right.
Although I'm looking at his stats here. I had forgotten. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. It's been a while.
Well, Pro Bowls.
2015, 2016, 2017. I know, but there's certain guys out there who we think are good quarterbacks who have never been to a Pro Bowl. So it's been a while. 2017 was the last year. But look, one other thing before we take a break.
Right.
He made the comment, I'll probably retire. I would probably quit football if I had to play anywhere else. That is a noticeable adjustment from the comment he made a year or two ago that I'm the quarterback of this team as long as I want to be. That was an unrealistic expression of how life is in the NFL. No, you're the quarterback as long as they want you. The moment they no longer want you, you're gone. This one is more realistic, although when he throws in probably, it doesn't quite have the same zing to it. I would quit. Well, I would probably quit. If they if you're gonna make that outlandish statement, you got to drop the probably and say I'm a Raider for life and I would quit football if they ever got rid of me. But you don't want to have to cash that check one of these days, because and that's it. Okay, that's the other side of it too.
Right.
I wonder. I know we got to take a break, but I wonder.
Yeah.
What if he was just suddenly available next March?
Yeah,
free agent.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of interest do you think there would be in a Derek Carr?
I think there'd be more than plenty. I think there'd be more. It's not going to be top level interest. It's not going to be Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson. We got to trade the farm for him. But that team that'd be looking for going, man, we need a starting quarterback. And we need a good one, and we don't have to give up maybe 3 future first-round picks or 4 future, it's something a little more realistic. He would be the next guy, I think, at the top of that market after those marquee names that we mentioned.
So, when you see an Andy Dalton and a Ryan Fitzpatrick getting $10 million contracts on a 1-year deal, that's the floor for the veteran starter.
He deserves way more than that. To
20 to 25.
Yeah, yes. I think you could justify 25 to 30 right now with some of the guys that are in that price range. I'd go, well, yeah, I'm sorry. Think about what you want, but that's the current price for, good quarterback play. He's a good quarterback. He is. He hasn't had the best circumstances. You mentioned the 3 Pro Bowlers. I kind of tried to take a shot at it, but back at that time, damn, at least 2 of those 3 were legit appearances. Was that the 2017 year or the 2016 year where he was in the MVP conversation until he broke his leg? It was pretty damn good football.
2016.
Yeah, there was some clutch moments late in games. He did some things back then where you went, whoa, like maybe we got a superstar kind of coming along here, and then it kind of plateaued for a little while, but we're seeing it pick up, and I think he's too easily disrespected a little bit because, he's a little over-exaggerator like you're talking about. And then the Raiders haven't done the best job of, making sure everybody knows he's the man. So then he gets
because John Gruden's the man.
Yeah,
that's the thing. John Gruden's the face of the franchise.
Right.
Maybe the quarterback should be, but it's been Gruden the last 3 years. And Carr, what's Carr's option? When you're dealing with a force of nature personality like John Gruden, what are you really going to do?
That's right.
And maybe that's why at the end of the day, Gruden hasn't – I don't want to psychoanalyze him in the same segment we psychoanalyzed Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Gruden doesn't want to surrender face of the franchise to a badass top-end quarterback. He wants a top-end quarterback, but he doesn't want that guy to supplant him as the face of the Raiders franchise.
I don't think that's crazy. I've definitely had the thought in my life before where I went, I don't know if John Gruden really wants Brett Favre or Peyton Manning, because then if things don't go well, we're going to look at his offense. Have I thought that before? You know me. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Of course I have. So, yes, that thought has crossed my mind. In my heart of hearts, I don't know if I really believe that, but it has crossed my mind, certainly.
It's easy to blame the quarterback when you believe that there's a better quarterback out there that would run the offense better. But, right, if you get that better quarterback and it still sputters, it ain't the quarterback.
Right.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.